gonna start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All the ones out to occupy their pushing the word and sincerity and the truth. This lesson is going to go into when the tide comes in, we'll see who's swimming naked. All right, and as we are familiar, the tide represents martial law, the stormtroopers, the floods of destruction and disaster, the prophecies of the ship, like I said, martial law, race riots, and all these different things that's soon to come and crash on the American economy. And you know, like this quote says, we'll see who's swimming naked, meaning the ones that's not, you know, having the sufficient amount of clothing and shelter to sustain in that day.
God.
And it's a lot of guys that's been bullshit. You know, a lot of these guys haven't been following the apostles and the elders, haven't been serious about pushing the truth. You know, you got a lot of comment board warriors, keyboard warriors. They just want to, you know, drop shalom's and certain scriptures. But when it comes down to the grunt work and getting into the dirt or the thick of things, they avoid that.
God.
But all you doing is selling yourself short. You're actually shooting yourself in the foot at the end of the day, because everything that you push out and the harder you come in and go in this truth is going to actually make you harder. It's going to actually make you a stronger individual. It's going to actually make you more prepared and more militant for the time of Jacob's trouble.
Right.
Because the time of Jacob's trouble is going to be the time that, as the scripture says in 2 Ezra, the 16th chapter, that's going to try all flesh. And it said, and then shall be known who are my chosen. All right, because it's going to be individuals, as this prophecy speaks about in Matthew the 25th chapter, how 5 of the virgins will be wise and 5 will be foolish. It's going to be individuals that utilize this wisdom to maximum capacity and actually do, as the scripture says, done with all with which to stand. You know, done all to stand in that day. And on the flip side, you'll have a lot of individuals, the foolish virgins, that was partying and bullshitting during the grace time. So when the time of destruction came, they basically got caught naked.
Yep.
All right, caught with their pants down, as the saying goes. Excuse me. So I'm gonna start with the scripture in Matthew the 24th chapter, verse 36. Matthew 24 and 36. It says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. And that day and that hour is the time of Jacob's trouble, and ultimately the time when Yahweh Shah is going to make his second return, so to speak, his appearance upon earth. All right, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark. Yeah, just like the scripture says, during that time, the individuals was partying and bullshitting, basically indulging in debaucherous acts, and basically living like it's no tomorrow. While you had the individual, the prophet Noah, prophesied constantly. The scriptures speak about how Noah prophesied for the space of 120 years, man. All right, and nobody listened to the warnings. Nobody took heed. And in the background, what was Noah doing? Noah was prophesying and simultaneously building up the ark, building up that spiritual shelter to protect itself during the time of the flood, man.
God.
All right, when everybody was bullshitting, they had the money, they had the expenses to indulge or to prepare themselves, but they chose not to take that path. They chose to party and basically parade, drink, and eat. Verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Yeah, and that just goes exactly with the quote I had just quoted. It said that when the tides come, we'll see who's swimming naked, because that's the flood. All right, and it said that's going to be synonymous with the times of the Yahweh Shah. It's going to be another flood. All right, what's that flood? It's going to be a flood of fire and brimstone, a flood of destruction. All right, military crackdown. All right, this whole joint as you know it, America as you know it, being transitioned to a police state. All right, quarantines, pestilence. All right, mass epidemics, mass shootings, like I said, race riots. And you have all these things being projected in the media, and it's all showing that it's coming to a city near you.
That's right.
Whether you're in Arkansas, whether you're in New York, whether you're here in Atlanta, Hawaii, Tampa, all right, Jacksonville, Florida, all right, in Mississippi, you know, the states, Dallas, California, you know, San Diego, San Francisco, because you have men of the Lord that's set up in all these different cities, all these different states, prophesying to prepare you for the times to come. As it is written in Jeremiah the 28th chapter in the 8th verse, that the prophets would basically prophesy and forewarn the people.
Yeah.
All right? And as they were warned, after the aftermath of the prophets to prophesying, the events would actually take place. All right? But the job of the prophet was to warn the individuals to do what? To cover themselves, to protect themselves, to shelter themselves for the destruction that which is to come. All right? And I have this scripture. We're going to Ephesians 6 and 13. Bear with me. Yeah, Ephesians 6 and 13. It says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand." So yeah, that's what the scripture says, to take on the armor. Armor is a instrument of protection. What does the armor protect you from? The fiery darts. All right, darts. It protects you from the sword. It protects you from any type of offensive, individual that's looking to attack you. And that represents the time of Jacob's trouble, because when these oppressors, you know, as they say, the pressure from above, pressure from below, when they put that down pressure on the society, it's going to make a lot of people crack, man. Why? Because they've been chasing the American dream. They've been chasing the almighty dollar. They've been chasing the black woman, all right, chasing their career, and ultimately not chasing the path of salvation. And they're going to get caught up in that, because your education and your degree, whether you have a master's or a bachelor's degree, that's not going to save you or deliver you in the time of Jacob's trouble. You knowing about medicine or culinary arts is not going to protect you in the time of martial law. The scriptures speak about how wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You fearing the Lord and you actually being under the rule or under the wingspan of the holy angels protecting you, that's what's going to get you delivered. And what's going to stabilize you? The wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Understanding these different events that's to come, so that you can prep your mind. All right, that's why the scripture says to have the armor of the Most High shielding you, and having done all to withstand. All right, because in this day, the scriptures speak about how certain people's legs is going to be feeble, man. Feeble as water, weak as water. And you're going to have certain people that's going to be standing strong, which is who? The men of the Lord, the ones that was been prepping themselves, meditating upon these times, watching movies pertaining to these times. You know, psyching themselves out for the time of Jacob's trouble, so to speak, man. You want to say something?
Yeah, if I could say something too, when you're speaking of this, we're not talking about getting a whole bunch of canned goods and loading up on guns. You know, we're talking about spiritually preparing.
Yep.
You know?
That's right. It's spiritually preparing. Because it's not about the substance. The scriptures speak about, if I'm not mistaken, Proverbs the 14th chapter, how basically money is not going to deliver you in that day, but righteousness is going to deliver you. All right? Because it doesn't matter about how much you have in your bank account. When it's going to be a shutdown in this place, it's going to be a drop of the dollar, so to speak. It's going to be a shutdown of the currency. It's going to be a quarantine. Your money is not going to get you anywhere. The spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to deliver you and direct you in that day. All right? And the individuals that don't have the spirit, hey, they're going to be doomed, man. The Most High is going to have those death angels out here actually, killing people, man. Putting the spirit on these troops. Putting the spirit on the so-called white man. Putting the spirit on these individuals to crack down, man. The animals. Scriptures speak about how the beast is going to devour and tear. All right? This is Luke 6 and 48. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 47. It says, "Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built a house and diggeth deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon the rock." Right, and that's the thing that we all understand at the end of the day. When the time of Jacob's trouble comes, it's going to come and attack us also. When martial law comes, them troops going to be in our neighborhood like they're going to be in everybody else's neighborhood. When that pestilence comes, it's going to affect the people around us like it's going to affect the rest of these individuals, man. We're not omitting ourselves from the time of Jacob's trouble, but we're preparing ourselves, man. Exactly. That's why the scripture says that when the streams and the floods arose, it said it beat vehemently. So these different things is going to beat vehemently on our door. But guess what? We're founded and we're structured upon that cornerstone and that rock, which is Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yeah.
It says, but he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house is great. And there's going to be a lot of men that house is going to be great. What's the house? The flesh, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Hebrew word for, or the word for body goes back to bodeg, which is the house. Your house is going to be toppled. All right? Because you wasn't doing that which is required. All right? Those going to be the individuals that get caught out there naked, man. They wasn't prepping. They wasn't in the spirit the whole time. They didn't listen to the prophets, because the prophets are heard all throughout the world, man. Mm-hmm. All right? The word